Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
Welcome one and all to Dice Company, where a group of old friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Tom, and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of the Order of the Heron. Order of the Heron, please introduce yourselves.
Oh, that's an addition. Hi, I'm Charlie. I play Vander Finnick, a hideous, broken creature that nevertheless enjoys soup and ultimately destroying his enemies in horrible ways.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I'm playing Tok, an imposing 6'8" automaton. Catchphrase for the win.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Augustus, the greatest person who has ever lived.
Wait.
We're not
allow that.
Sorry, let me correct it. An imposing 6'8" greatest person who has ever lived. Apparently, we're allowed to say that.
I was going to say I'm actually okay with that.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm playing Bennie Quez, a rogue who apparently has a better understanding of the other characters around him than they do of themselves.
Truly, he is the best of us.
I mean, that's metagaming, or are we not in the game? I don't know which space we're in. How many walls have we broken?
And remember, we should watch with glittering eyes the whole world around us, because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places, and those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Just like you lot. In the next chapter of Dice Company. Previously on Dice Company. The Order of the Heron were officially formed around a campfire in the Moonshadow Mountains, with the prerequisite amount of sniping and bullying. After long days of travel, you found yourselves at Mama Strange's Silver Pine Retreat, a high-end resort for the wealthy and elite who don't want to be surrounded by the riffraff. Tok took himself off to the basement for a clean-up in an ion bath by some deep gnomes, who revealed that they had been secretly working on their own automaton from the old parts that they had fixed. Meanwhile, on the second floor, Bennie had a look through the Whom's Who guides of Athlon and Cantioch for information on Lucian Winter, Bardal Schultz, but was surprised to find no entry for the Zeno family. He then joined Augustus and Vander in the bath and relaxation pool room. Dressed in towels, Vander clutching his cane, Bennie fiddling with his signet ring, and Augustus with ember hanging from a belt around his waist, they saw as a man entered, who Bennie recognized immediately as Tiaram Tamrais. Tiaram sits down in his towel, and his eyes fall on Bennie. He smiles in acknowledgement of a fellow member of the elite, and then after a moment, he asks, "I'm sorry, do I know you? I never forget a face, and I've definitely seen yours before."
Thinking quickly, Bennie says, "I don't believe so, sir. The name's Sigmund. Dr. Sigmund."
Oh, shit!
What's your first name?
You shut up.
He smiles and accepts the answer, and then looks to either side of you, smiling at first at Augustus, although again his eyes narrow as he looks at his face, and then finally he looks at Vander, and his mouth slowly opens, a look of dawning realization spreading across his face. He looks quickly from one face to another as the pinkish hue of his skin drains away.
Vander leans forward with a sinister look in his eye and extends his hand. Gary Pencil, at your service.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, Gary Pencil. I've left something in my room. Please excuse me, gentlemen. And he begins to head towards the exit.
Stay, Mr. Tamrais. You've only just begun steaming.
I don't remember introducing myself.
Oh, maybe the heat's gone to your head. Why not have a seat?
He bolts from the room.
Vander casts sleep.
Can Augustus co-cast sleep? Because I was thinking the same thing.
No.
Oh.
Are you going to drown this guy to death in a pool?
No comment. So that's a score 25.
Vander raises his cane, and Tiaram's knees go weak as he collapses to the floor in a heap, fast asleep. You can't quite hear the snoring because his mouth is currently under water.
Augustus very quickly props him so he looks like he's dozed off happily in the hot bath in case anyone comes in. Is there any servants in here or anything that can see us?
Not at the moment. You are alone with him.
Perfect. So we put him in a position like he's just dozed off in the jacuzzi, obviously with his breathing apparatus above the water.
Vander takes a seat opposite Bennie.
Now, Bennie, it appears we have rather an opportunity. What say you to our situation?
I say we let him sleep it off and get out of here. Think about it, Vander. This is the exclusive retreat of the rich and famous. If we go around, what's the word I should use for what you might do?
Duping?
Yeah, why not? Folk will get wind of it pretty fast, and we will be wanted. I reckon we're better off keeping our heads down and disappearing.
This puts Augustus in a horrible position because, on the one hand, it is basically his two greatest fears are combining. One, he doesn't want to kill an unconscious man, but two, he doesn't want to stop living the high life. He's going to have to choose between those two things.
I suspect, Bennie, that we may already be wanted, and for a friend, of course, I would be delighted to take care of this little inconvenience for you.
What we wanted for? We're not wanted. I mean, I know what we wanted for, but specifically right now, we're not wanted for out. And if he sleeps for however long, we can be miles away.
It strikes me as equally possible that a horde of zombies are coursing across the countryside even now, bent on destroying this place. What is a little murder in the face of such reckless hate? Treat yourself, Bennie.
But what are we going to gain, Vander?
Sweet vengeance.
Well, what are you feeling vengeful about? You've only met this guy once.
You are a trusted, beloved member of the Order of the Heron, Bennie. Your enemies are very much my enemies now.
Well, I appreciate sentiment, but I prefer not to kill him in cold blood. Thank you very much.
Come, brother.
Why are you still pushing it, Vander? Let's get our stuff together and get going.
Vander, I hope as a fellow member of the Order, you will accept when I say I'm with Bennie and we are not drowning a sleeping man.
Well,
Vander looks slightly frustrated.
in which case we are simply in a steam room with a man who is himself asleep. Can we at least enjoy the remaining steam?
Is Tiaram, is he carrying anything? Is there anything to indicate, for example, what room his might be?
Give me an investigation check. And just for your information, sleep lasts for 1 minute.
Uh-oh. That is a 16 for investigation.
You have a quick search around the body and you find hooked onto the inside of the towel is the key to room number 1.
Right, let's get him into his room, have a look around, see what's interesting, lock him in and get out of here.
If you insist,
says Vander, rising painfully to his feet.
I do. Although if he's going to wake up in a minute, can I attempt to kind of knock him out?
You want to knock out a sleeping man?
Well, I want to make sure he stays unconscious.
It's a philosophically difficult thing to do.
What's Bennie doing? Why is he hitting that sleeping guy?
I'm going to say yes, you can.
Look, you guys are like alone with him, right? There's not just like a pool full of people watching all this.
What are these guys up to?
That guy fell asleep. Why isn't Dr. Sigmund providing medical attention?
So you need to roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
Uh-oh.
He is unarmed, unconscious, and basically naked.
I mean, not to peanut gallery too much, but you're a thief. You should probably just strangle him a little bit rather than bludgeon him.
Strangle him a little bit, says the sweetheart.
You can attempt to knock him out or choke him using a towel.
What are we doing here?
What? Talk's not part of this. You monsters.
Absolute sociopaths, the lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have a bath.
I'm trying to prevent Vander from killing him.
By towel choking him.
We're all doing our best. Trying circumstances.
I think after 30 chapters, I'm happy to say that our best is simply not good enough.
You can attempt to punch him unconscious or choke him unconscious using a towel. Both come with inherent risk.
I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds really bad, doesn't it?
Ow, it's hurting my chest.
I'm going to have to push you for an answer.
So if I roll too high on a dexterity check, then I might kill him. Is that what you're saying? All right, I'll attempt to knock him out with a sort of punch.
If you fail, though, you might just wake him up.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, someone punch it.
Okay, please roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
At advantage.
You can have it at advantage because he's not moving.
Well, we haven't added my strength modifier yet, so it might be all right.
Is it a negative modifier?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, amazing.
Well, you've definitely not killed him, at least.
That's 2.
Oh my god.
Basically a free massage.
Well, I might not have woken him up.
You might have just missed an unconscious.
Vander and Augustus, you watch as Bennie lines up the jaw with his left hand of Tiaram Tamrais, balls his hand into a fist, and swings at the last minute. Seemingly changing his mind, it turns into a slap, and he just slaps him hard across the face, immediately waking him up. What?
He just rubs a wet hand gently across the guy's face.
Lean into being a doctor.
Right, okay, Augustus gets in the guy's face and says, Tamrais, listen to me.
Who are you?
I am Lord Radagard Sloom.
What is happening?
What is happening, my friend, is that you face a simple choice. Either you leave this place tonight and never mention that you saw us, or my friend Gary Pencil here will be given free rein to do what he will to you with his pencils.
Gary nods enthusiastically.
Give me an intimidation check at advantage.
Do you mind if I ask that this? Obviously, they're in a bathhouse right now. Are they all naked whilst this is happening?
That's where my advantage came from.
I mean, they have towels.
15.
Of course. I will leave immediately. I will go back to my room. I will get my paramour, and we shall leave post haste. You will never hear from us again.
Can I check? I've got a thing called Zone of Truth. Can I use that in this situation? Because it's impossible to lie in my Zone of Truth.
Okay, yep.
15-foot radius sphere, concentrated on a point of your choice. You can create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere.
Awesome.
So he's got to do a save, and then I find out if he passed or not.
Could everyone do a save, please? Charisma saving throw.
Oh, yeah.
Tiaram has failed.
It's a 12 for Bennie.
13 for Vander.
Also both failed.
Going to be awkward for them. Augustus, don't waste this opportunity.
No more lying for you guys while you're in the Zone of Truth.
So we recognise that Augustus has cast this spell.
Yes.
Whether we do or don't, we now have to tell the truth.
I've also failed, but I'm a man of my word, so that's fine.
And so he sees you kind of moving your hands around and summoning the power of Tyr, compelling him and everyone around him, including all of you, into telling the truth.
My name is really Vander Finnick, and we should most definitely kill this man.
Oh, don't kill me. I don't want to die. I'm too rich.
My last crew also died, and I am tormented by its memories. Death is my only solace.
Vander, my Zone of Truth does not require you to share your long and extremely interesting backstory.
I betrayed the people of Slateholme with Gearhead, and now we're on the run back to the main empire.
What?
Very interesting. Let's pull that thread. Tell us more, Mr. Tamrais. You're on the run from who?
We're on the run from the Order of the Heron.
Well, you've come to the wrong bathhouse.
I have been in cahoots with Gearhead, my paramour, for months, and she found out that Doxy Abelman had asked her to create fake plans for the Steamrunner, and so I gave that to the Empire, and they put my brother Leith. They installed him as the new mayor after we killed Doxy Abelman, but the people of Slateholme weren't happy, and they started to rebel, and all of a sudden, small emblems of a heron started to appear, so Gearhead and I are on the run. We're heading back to Royam Dion right now.
From small emblems, mighty fires burn.
To my mind, this is the right bathhouse.
That's correct, Vander. Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Where will you go, Tamrais?
Royam Dion, the City of Lights. It's always been a safe haven for all of the elite and anyone with money.
I've got a question which is more out of curiosity than anything, but, indulge me. You ever seen Gearhead in a really bad mood?
Yes, she absolutely murdered one of the Shadow Vanguard. She's upstairs now if you'd like to speak to her.
No, not at all.
I think I recognise you from Middleton. Your name is Lenny, or is it Bennie?
Surprised you recognise me, I'm just a commoner.
You're the ruffian who took Leaf's ear.
I find myself unable to deny that.
Does that mean you accept ruffian as well?
Let me call this.
I'm a torturer by trade.
I am a vain and shallow man, and I have one testicle.
He's got webbed toes.
Which you have made me feel very self-conscious about.
My friend Vander here has no toes at all. Or should I say Cyril?
I want to leave the bathhouse.
So do I. I worried I'm about to soil myself.
You shouldn't leave. We need to kill you before that.
No, we don't need to kill him. We need to take him back to Slato for a trial or some such.
His brother is the mayor, is he not?
Oh, yeah.
Things take so long, Bennie.
I can go upstairs. I can convince Gearhead to leave tonight. She doesn't like this kind of fine living anyway.
And will you tell her you have seen us?
Yes. He looks at you again and goes, yes. 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 Eventually.
I'm frightened of Gearhead.
So am I.
So am I.
We're all frightened of Gearhead, but really, that's a problem for those of us who will remain living at the end of this bathhouse debacle.
Please don't kill me. I'm incredibly good looking and rich.
Yes, so you said. So am I, for that matter.
You are.
Why, thank you. Finally, someone said it. Someone spoke the truth. Vander, what do you suppose would happen if, fully clothed, we accompanied Mr. Tamrais here back to his room and had a conversation with Gearhead? Do you suppose her deception to us means that she is now an enemy? Or is she perhaps still your friend, but a tricky friend?
I know Gearhead to be a deceptive soul, but believe our friendship to be genuine. That being said, she has a fury few can imagine. My central premise is that of loose ends. I speak, of course, of the gentleman in front of us, Mr. Tamrais.
And just to conduct a small thought experiment, my dear Cyril, what would Gearhead do should she discover the grisly pool-based murder of her paramour by us around, let's say, 50 feet away from her current location?
Little if we were to be off and on the road by the time she discovered it.
And you think the descriptions the staff would provide of us would leave her none the wiser?
I could arrange things so his death looked at least only suspicious and not the gruesome murder we might otherwise leave behind us.
You don't have to kill me. You can take my stagecoach. I'll walk from here. I won't even talk to Gearhead. I can just leave.
Oh, we shall certainly take the stagecoach.
Augustus, after you say that, you hear the voice of Tyr in your head. Champion, kill him.
How about this for a plan then? Stagecoach, all of us, a few miles that way, kick out Tiaram. He's on his feet. Stagecoach, us, back to where we were going.
That is appealing. I would also like to tie up this little loose end, however.
I would not like to tie up this little loose end. And seeing as you seem to be suggesting you were only tying up loose end to do me a favour, I'd appreciate it if you did me the favour of doing what I wanted and not trying to kill everybody all the time.
Doing what you want me to do does in fact matter to me, as does obvious opportunities for vengeance. Truthfully, I'm torn.
So Augustus has been looking sort of confused after, obviously, the voice that he heard. But to buy time, he's going to say, I agree with Bennie. Let's take him with us and let's go at once. Someone needs to find Tok.
Vander, why don't you go and find Tok? Because I think it's probably preferable if you stay as far away from Tiaram as possible.
Vander's eye slides from one to the other, and then, reluctantly,
If this is the plan, then I will keep my part of it up.
and then as he shuffles past Tamrais,
You're very, very lucky, you know.
I know, I always have been.
Vander then leaves the steam room. As he leaves,
Bennie's feet sicken me.
as he closes the door,
Disgusting.
Tok, you are in the Ion Bath and you have witnessed the two deep gnomes discussing the building of the automaton you see before you.
So, if I'm right, they were also discussing removing parts from Tok and trying to finish their creation, to assist in their work. What are they currently doing? Are they sort of are they still within earshot discussing, or are they paying attention to Tok?
They're not paying any attention to you. They are talking to each other and admiring their handiwork of the other automaton.
Tok has a bit of a dilemma here, but at least he's not in a zone of truth, so he doesn't have to voice it immediately. Okay, so I think Tok's going to reach for his bag. From it, he's going to take a little vial of oil. He's going to coat another small stone in it. In fact, two small stones in it. And he's going to flick, or gently sort of, flick one of them towards the stairs down and one of them towards the two gnomes. From both those stones will be a like the smell of burning, like an acrid burning smell. When the gnome seemed to notice this, he will, in his most subtle voice, say, "Alarm! Makers, I detect fire, smoke. You must escape this place."
I think I'm going to just allow you to do that. I think you would flick the 2 stones, you yell alarm, and they immediately, you see them sniffing around in the air. Oh, there's a fire. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh yeah, but what about the automaton? Oh, forget that. Let's go. And they begin to run up and out of the room.
Right, well, as they do, Tok is not going to waste time. He'll be up and out the ion bath, and will be over to inspect the partially built automaton.
Give me an investigation check, please.
That would be a 24.
Oh, this is a pristinely built and excellent condition automaton. You can see that the various parts have been taken from other automatons, but the 2 deep gnomes obviously spent a lot of time buffing and trying to get it to look like one created creature. As you check the open faceplate, you notice that all the elements are there except for the memorandum crystal. It's fantastic condition.
Okay, Tok again. It's not going to take too much time to whereabouts. He will take from his bag of holding. He will take out a memorandum crystal. Will place it into the automaton, into the slot. Although he will disable the automaton by removing the leaf-like crystal, as he has done in the past. Close the faceplate and then bag the whole automaton in the bag of holding. As he does, say to it, "Dig, the repair schedule has been advanced. We are fortuitous." And then he'll leave the same way the gnomes did.
Good news. That didn't sound deeply sinister at all.
Yeah, I wanted it to come off,
Peanut gallery. Tok, you begin to head up the stairs. Vander, as you're making your way across the main lobby, you see 2 deep gnomes suddenly run screaming out of the Silver Pine retreat, screaming about fire. Within seconds, the 2 ruffians you saw on the stagecoach come rushing in. "Where's Tiaram?" And they come up to you. "Have you seen Tiaram?"
Afraid not, gentlemen.
And Vander moves past as if to continue making his way down towards Tok.
Give me a deception check at advantage, please.
So has Vander had time to, re-robe himself? Or is he just against Starkers?
In a towel, as far as I'm aware.
A towel and cane. 25 for the deception.
They grumpily push past you. "Oh, Mr. Tamrais. And they go rushing off into Silver Pine's retreat.
Vander chuckles and continues his way towards Tok.
And Tok appears, and he looks magnificent. He is gleaming. All of the scrapes and cracks of his armor have been completely buffed out. He looks brand new.
Most attractive member of the party.
I too have been bathing.
And Vander holds his arms wide.
Are we not magnificent?
Indeed, my olfactory receptors do not detect mud, urine, smoke, or feces upon your person. The hardships of the travel have been erased.
Lean as a whistle. Now, I believe we have to flee this place owing to a nemesis of Bennie's binding us in the steam room. If you wouldn't mind accompanying me to my robes, then we must be gone.
Indeed, in a coincidental event, we must flee this place due to a fictitious fire and a theft. And Tok will follow Vander.
We can never just have a nice time, can we?
Things would go quicker if you carried me, and don't mind skin to skin.
Tok will pick up Vander, and as he does, he'll say, "But Vander, I do not possess skin." And then we'll carry him to wherever he's pointing, I guess, because Tok doesn't know where his clothes are.
Vander guides Tok towards his robes.
You guys get back to Vander's room, where you find, Vander, all of your clothes have been washed and pressed and fixed. So they're in the best condition they've ever been in.
Vander slides into his robes.
After Vander gets dressed, Tok will start climbing into the bag of holding and said, "Vander, it may make sense for you to carry me."
Progress will be slower, but if you insist, Tok, it will be so.
Tok will climb into the bag of holding and Vander can carry it.
So we're back in the bathhouse with Bennie, Augustus, and Tiaram Tamrais.
Bennie, I think we need to return to our rooms to get our clothes. Tamrais, you need to come with us.
As long as you don't kill me, okay.
Very good.
Yeah, let's get moving. And Augustus, what's going on with this? You've cast something, haven't you? You've cast some sort of spell that everyone's got to tell the truth. Is that going to move with us?
No, everyone can go back to lies and tricks as soon as we leave this location.
Okay. So before we leave, why aren't you in Who's Whom book?
I'm not quite sure what you mean, Bennie, but I imagine it's because my name is not Augustus Zeno.
Oh my god! Oh my god, what just happened?
That is to say, Bennie, that is the middle part of my name. My full name is Fabian Augustus Zeno Denothlian. As I said, I am the first son of Denothlia.
It's Fabian.
Wowzer.
Anything else? My mother is Julia Zeno. She's rather fearsome. I'm afraid of her.
Benny's just a bit stunned and she goes, oh. And then kind of shakes himself out of it and he goes, right, let's get moving. Sit door.
Did your father have webbed feet?
I don't know, Augustus.
Fabian.
Fabian. I grab Tiaram by the arm and propel him towards the door. Open the door, look out, check if the corridor is clear.
As you pick up Tiaram, he looks at you and says, his name is Fabian Denothlian, the name of the person who created Cantioch. His family's incredibly famous.
And rich?
Indeed.
But I fear my companions here are far too intelligent for me. They keep outplaying me in every conversation.
Right, let's get moving, you.
Good idea.
Oh my god. The most impactful spell ever played in a...
100%. With Tiaram in tow, you guys head back to your rooms, where you also find your clothes all cleaned, freshly pressed, and fixed. There's obviously an expert tailor here somewhere who is able to make them all look like brand new.
Augustus kneels down to look at the freshly pressed clothes really closely and mutters, how do they do this? Like magic. Bennie, I suggest we need to exit via the window and sharply.
Yeah.
If Vander has any sense, he will join us there. He will know we can't leave through the front door with Tamrais.
Yes, I like your thinking, Augustus. Then I go to the window, because I do enjoy opening a window. Another callback. What floor are we on?
So many callbacks.
The second floor.
That looks safe enough to jump out?
Use a rope.
Peanut gallery.
I saved your rope.
Yes, I'll use the rope, tie it to the bed, and lower it out the window.
Okay.
And I think Bennie first, because Tamrais, we don't want Tamrais to run off, so we need someone at the bottom, but Tamrais is most scared of Augustus, because Augustus intimidated him. So Bennie first, then Tamrais, then Augustus, allowing Augustus to unhook the rope on the way down.
So Bennie ties his hempen rope and climbs out the window, followed closely by Tiaram. No sooner has Tiaram stepped outside of the window that his grip on the rope slips and he falls tumbling past you. Bennie, can I have a dexterity saving throw, please?
The problems solve themselves.
That's just a 10.
So you feel the rope begin to go and you look up quickly and are able to swing to the side just as Tiaram goes hurtling past you. His body hits the floor with a crunch.
Well, I descend as quickly as possible and go to investigate what sort of state he's in.
You reach the bottom quickly, go and check on the unmoving Tiaram. His body broken with his limbs in weird directions, his eyes wide open, and there's a small pool of blood appearing behind his head.
Is there any point in opening a window?
It's already open. We've done everything we could.
Everything you could.
Need to hide the evidence. There's a rope.
That's what happens when you have a natural 1 and a very low HP character.
He's dead.
You forced him to do something he wasn't capable of.
And then he had to go down a rope.
Vander would approve.
Murder.
That's with Tyr, apparently.
Benny's just kind of standing over Tiaram's broken form, just looking slightly panicked.
Augustus, you have reached the bottom of the rope now.
And Augustus is going to leave the rope there just because it at least gives the impression that it sort of lends at least some credence to the idea this might have been an accident, which it was, to be fair.
Vander and Tok, you exit the hotel just in time to turn the corner and see Bennie stood over the dead body of Tiaram Tamrais, with Augustus with his hand on his shoulder.
Vander shuffles up.
So you killed him without your old friend Vander?
I didn't do anything. He fell out the window. What are we going to do?
This is gruesome.
Augustus is going to kneel down and close Tamrais's eyes and take a moment to commune with Tyr, because he's interested to see if Tyr speaks again, because he's somewhat baffled by the order to murder him.
The voice of Tyr appears in Augustus's head. Good. Vander, with your high perception, you look at Bennie, whose face is pale white and there's a thin layer of sweat around his forehead. And as you look at him, you notice that the hairs on his beard and in his hair have started to go a bit grey. It's like he's literally aging in front of you.
Bennie, I believe we've done all we can here. The most sensible next move in the plan is to commandeer the coach and make our way from this place as quickly and as quietly as possible. And if we can, with a sense of calm.
You will hear a very muffled voice saying, "I find this to be acceptable."
The bag agrees.
When you're looking at the bag, there appears to be a small pipe sticking out the top with a bend in it.
Is that a periscope?
If you look closely, yeah.
Vander, you would estimate that Bennie has aged by around 9 to 10 years. The aging has now stopped.
Vander renews his request to get in the coach, find and get in the coach.
Yeah, Bennie is sort of fairly compliant at this stage, a bit sort of stunned by what's going on, so just does as he's told, basically.
And Augustus is still kneeling down looking at Tamrais, and he, without looking up, he says, "What of the body?"
We must make all haste. There is no time to deal with the body now.
And your friend Gearhead?
She will be displeased, but there's no reason to suppose that she'll connect us to this unfortunate event.
I mean, Augustus doesn't correct the very obvious reasons we're going to be connected to this unfortunate event.
Augustus, I believe that if I gauge our hosts correctly, discretion is a quality they admire. I suspect this is one murder that cannot be pinned to us.
There was no murder, Vander. I'm sorry for what happened to this man, but there's nothing we can do for him, so I suggest we go.
Agreed.
You guys get onto the stagecoach, which has been left by the two ruffians, the two bodyguards of Tiaram Tamrais. You're surprised to find that it is almost exactly the same design as your previous stagecoach, although the horses, they're not quite as magnificent as your last pair. Now an expert of riding them, Vander cracks the reins, and you disappear into the nighttime gloom.
Lost 10 years and a rope.
Yeah, in fairness, the grey is like it's left this kind of really cool grey streak at the top of your head, which is pretty cool.
As the coach speeds through the night, Vander opens the hatch to the interior of the carriage and says,
Augustus, a word, if you please.
Very well. And Augustus goes out the window, onto the roof, and comes and snuggles up next to Vander.
Vander continues to look ahead, making sure he's keeping the coach on the road.
Augustus, I observed a change in Bennie,
he says while pushing the slide shut on the main interior.
Yes, I see it too, Vander. You have an explanation?
It is possible that it is another side effect of his abilities as a tyro going unmanaged, so to speak. But it would be unusual to say the least. I'm concerned that there is another force at play here, one I don't fully understand.
A force separate from his Tyro or Rojan powers?
It is impossible for me to say, but if I were to mention this to Bennie, indeed if any of us were to approach him with this sad news, he may react poorly and exacerbate his condition. I say this because the time on this particular problem is moving quickly. We have from now until Bennie looks into a mirror.
Vander, I enjoy our conversations tremendously, as you know. Do you know what caused it?
I do not. I think we should seek help regarding it. A healer of some kind. Someone who could reveal the secrets of what has been done to Bennie, or indeed confirm that Bennie is doing it to himself.
I see a few other options.
Vander lapses into thought, and while doing that, I'm going to cast my researcher ability to see if I can discern anything more about what I've seen.
This, to your eyes, with your training, would appear to be some form of wild magic. So something beyond the normal, something that is not conjured, but is just wild and out in the ether. You've heard of this before, specifically in relation to Elias the Wanderer, who you have, like everyone in Alestia, has heard of. What you really need to fully understand it is a fully trained Rojan.
If it is to do with his abilities as a tyro, then it is one of the most unusual transformations. If we cannot find the answers we need in New Haven, we will need to find a Rojan.
Do you know of any others, apart from Seraphina, who we last saw in combat with Morven and whose fate is unclear to us?
Only one, and they are a prisoner in the Fingers.
Augustus, could you roll a d20 for me, please?
Fucking hell.
Oh, that sounds like good news. Augustus rolls a 12.
You guys travel until you're tired, and less than a day's travel later, you reach the crest of the latest mountain path. And ahead of you, in the distance, you can see a cart stopped by the side of the road. Even from this distance, one of its wheels appears to be missing, and there's a small group of people stood around.
Vander, seeing them, bangs on the top of the coach.
Eyes about you, gentlemen. We have company up ahead.
Tox sticks the periscope back up out of the bag of holding.
Is Tox still in the bag of holding?
I don't know.
He didn't say he left, so...
He's making a nest.
Vander continues to drive the coach in the direction of the cart.
Bennie is sitting in the carriage, brooding.
As you approach the broken down cart, Vander, you see a family of gnomes, and the father figure of the gnomish family is on all fours, and he's attempting to fix a broken wheel on a cart. The cart appears to be full of their possessions.
Vander slows the coach to a stop and pulls the handbrake.
Oh, hello, stranger.
A pleasure to meet you. It seems you have some trouble there.
Yep, the wheel fell off my cart. Trying to make our way to the east. This is what happens when you buy cheap. Buy cheap, buy twice. That's what I always say.
Most unfortunate. Where were you traveling to specifically?
Oh, before I get into that, let me shake your hand. I'm Rufus C. Mumble Fumbles IV. And he kind of steps up onto the cart and offers his hand to you.
Vander leans over to shake his hand and sends a mental message to Augustus, who I assume is still sitting next to me. Be ready. And Vander clasps his hand.
Vander, you immediately feel the somewhat familiar movements in the handshake of that of the Order of the Heron.
Amazing. Vander's half-encased face creases into a hideous smile, and he returns the gesture.
Oh, my friend, it's good to know we're in good company. And he opens his jacket up, and you see a small metal pin in the shape of a heron on the inside.
Vander undoes his robes and, pulling them apart, shows them the branding on his chest.
And presumably it's just a massive, blistered, bloody mess. It was opened yesterday.
Ta-da!
Oh, my word. Well, we're in good company at the very least. That looks like it might be infected. You might want to see someone about that.
Might open a window.
It's all infected.
The embroidery you paid for is looking like a real waste of money now, isn't it?
I've got a new and more awesome way of showing people.
So, friend, I can, now that I know we're in safe company, we're fleeing Slateholme. Tamrais Foundation has taken over. The taxes have gone through the roof almost immediately, and they seem to be obsessed with Grod Sankir. And I think I know why. And he hands you a newspaper. The headline of the newspaper reads, "The Clouds of War."
This is troubling news.
And Vander instantly scans the paper.
Emperor Salazar has threatened to declare war on Crimson Reach and its pig-headed Imperator Jaquil. The people of Crimson Reach have taken issue with the Kalian Empire's expansion to the south in the town of Fortitude. Ignoring the obvious security concerns which cause such a minor expansion, the Imperator has sent his barbaric and infamous First Legion to defend the desolate part of the land they ignorantly claim is theirs by right of conquest. This comes at a time when the Emperor is hosting talks with the leaders of the kingdoms of Cantioch to discuss reparations for the Great Freedom War. This blatant act of aggression has left the Emperor with little choice. Mobilizing our glorious military, the Sons of Kale, he will defend his citizens by any means available to him. In the region of Ovik, moves are being made to fire up the great factories of war once again, in preparation for defense, if the savages of Crimson Reach don't come to their senses soon.
Vander relays the article's contents to the rest of the group.
You were saying you were seeking safety.
Aye, that's right. We were told that there is a sanctuary of sorts to the east, just on the outskirts of Roanoke. We saw the great airship of the Order of the Heron come to take people away, but it was too full, so we couldn't go on. But I had a quick chat with the Dread Pirate and the People's Champion, and they told me where I needed to go.
The Dread Pirate?
Aye, the automaton, Plex.
Vander's face goes through a complicated array of emotions, and then a tear falls from his eye, such is the joy at the description of Plex.
This is wonderful news.
Aye, they're true heroes, both of them.
Both of them.
Aye, the People's Champion, Bardal Schultz.
Fascinating,
says Vander, almost choking with pride.
Allow me to assist you, as I believe it is best now that you come with us. We will guide you to this sanctuary.
Oh, if you're sure, my friend. We've got a lot of stuff, though. You don't look like you've got much room on your stagecoach.
Maybe we can repair yours at the very least.
Oh, that would be very handy.
Augustus, I may not be the most well-equipped to assist.
Very well, Vander. I'd be delighted to help. Talk.
Tock will climb out of the bag.
Oh, my word. Well, that's quite a bit of magic you've got there. Oof.
And we'll say, yes, Augustus.
Doc, would you mind assisting me in repairing this broken stagecoach?
Yes, Augustus. And we'll walk over to the car and we'll start mending it using the mending cantrip. So progress will go very quickly.
Augustus will move over to a nearby boulder and put one foot on it, like stretching his sort of one knee out, put his hands on that knee and stare into the distance. A heroic pose.
He's smouldering.
Within seconds, Tock has managed to fix the broken wheel on the cart.
When Tock's done, he'll say, repairs are complete, and we'll return to Vander and climb back into the bag.
Augustus wanders past and says, "You're welcome, good gnome," and climbs back up next to Vander.
Bennie has noticeably perked up on hearing all this good news. Just pokes out the window and says, I got a couple of slightly weird questions, but, humour me.
Of course, anything for the Order of the Heron.
Have you seen a turtle amongst the group?
Yeah, there was a turtle along with Bardal Schultz.
Brilliant. And one last slightly weird question. Were there a dog just exactly like this one? And I hold up Lenny.
Oh, I didn't see no dog, no.
Okay, never mind, don't matter.
It's a very cute dog, though.
He's a very cute dog. He's a very good boy, and he's very friendly as well. Go on, Lenny, go and say hello. Lenny leaps out of the carriage to go and make a new friend.
And Mr. Mumblefumbles IV begins to scratch.
And he turns into a 9-foot armor-plated alien.
He snaps down on it. Well, thank you, friends. That's everything that we need, I think. Good luck with your travels. Fuck the Empire.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mumblefumbles. And remember, from Small Embers,
Fires burn.
So Benny says that. It looks promising, doesn't it? It looks like Haven's survived.
it does. It also sounds like word is spreading.
Yeah.
No small amount of trouble, of course, but that was to be expected.
It may be that with wider news of New Haven's location, they attract the attention of the Empire and the Shadow Vanguard.
Indeed, it would be best we discovered our New Haven friends sooner rather than not.
Agreed. Yeah, we need to crack on then.
Vander cracks the reins again, and as the horses settle into a steady pace, he takes the reins in one hand and from his robes produces the sending stone that connects him to Bardal Schultz.
Bardal, can you hear me? It's Vander.
After a second, in your head, you hear the familiar voice of Bardal Schultz.
Mustang, I knew you weren't dead. Get back, you dog. Taste my song and know there'll be more where that comes from. Yes, take that. Terribly sorry, Mustang. Not the best time at the moment. Bit of an Empire raid going on at the minute. Plex, Bounders. Over there, Bounder's Plex. That's it. Yes, take it. Listen, anyway, where are you?
We are making all haste to rejoin the New Haveners. And in answer to your first question, most difficult to kill I am.
I always knew it. Oh, Rosalind, yes. Hold them back. That's right. Use the shell. Yes, sir. I'm talking to Mustard. Get it there. Take you there, you dog. Anyway, bit of a bad time at the moment. Hope everything's well. Give my love to all the boys. If you're going to be anywhere heading back to the direction of Sanctuary, we'll be back there in a couple of weeks, and I'll speak to you then. Anyway, take that, you venomous slime. You blue-booted cow. Take it. There you are. I'll speak to you then. Ta-ta, Mustang.
Understood. I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Bartle out.
Bartle.
I do worry that we're the second coolest party in this story.
I hope we're the second coolest.
I relay the interesting contents of that conversation to the rest of the group.
So does that mean Bartle's got our airship?
It appears that way.
Huh. How do you feel about that?
Surely it is good that he is making use of it whilst we are away.
Vander is looking off into the middle distance while the coach rattles along. But from his half expression that you can see, it's clear that what Vander feels most of all is pride.
A couple of days pass. After the trials and tribulations of the last month, you finally reach the slopes of the last mountain, beyond which, according to Tok's map, lies the location you told the people of Haven to escape to, nestled between the foothills of the Moonshadow Mountains and the region of Roanoke. A short ride later, you crest the mountain, and before you, stretching to the horizon, is a thick layer of low-hanging cloud. And there, in the location you marked on the map, is a densely populated copse of gnarled and twisted trees, like an impenetrable wall of blackened bark and trunk. There is no sign of a settlement or people anywhere in view.
Hawk, would you mind checking the map one last time?
So Tok will again climb out of the bag and produce the map on the tablet that he's got, trying to confirm we're in the right location.
Yep, you do indeed confirm this is the right location. The copse of trees is the exact marked spot on the map.
Yes, Vander, this is the correct location. The map is detailed.
Then it appears we must proceed, though I suggest caution.
Is there an obvious way for a large carriage and horses to get through?
There is. The path goes into Roanoke. It's obviously the remains of an old road that used to connect Roanoke to Ophik that you are currently on.
More slowly now, the horses begin to canter down the broken roadway.
Okay, Tok will return into the bag.
As you approach the small, dense forest, you find yourself unable to see beyond the curved tree trunks before you. Unlike your journey, the sun can't seem to penetrate the thick layer of clouds overhead either, and the air of Roanoke is silent and quite eerie. There's no wind, no birdsong, nothing whatsoever. The ground around the forest looks like a dried-up swamp and seems to continue for miles into the distance, a flat and featureless dirt bowl of nothing sat under an endless dark cloud.
Still in the driver position, Vander draws the flintlock from his robes and rests it on one knee.
Augustus,
Vander says,
I wonder if that candle of yours, if used, might point us in the direction of the New Haveners.
From the bag, you hear a muffled voice saying, But Vander, technically we may exit the Empire and enter the new Republic of Sanctuary.
I do hope the candle enjoys semantics.
Very well, gentlemen, we have nothing to lose. And Augustus pulls out the candle and lights it.
The familiar blue wick and flame burst up, and it immediately begins to move towards the dead forest before you.
Gentlemen, I suggest we continue and proceed with caution, Vander.
And in response, Vander coaxes the horses forward.
And you reach the edge of the forest area. There is no clear path. You certainly can't get a stagecoach through anywhere that you can see. If if you wish to continue, you'll have to do it on foot.
Augustus climbs down.
Bennie hops out.
And Tok will leave the bag. As he does so, he will say, "The repairs are complete." And out of the bag will follow another automaton.
What? Who's this, Tok?
The automaton looks very different to Tick. It's clearly a different design. It's I don't know if any of the people's memories will go back all the way to the details of the war automaton we fought in Alphon, in the place we met the Stormlord, but it will be covered in those armored plates. Tok will say, "Tick is with us again. The repairs are complete. Let us proceed." And he'll start walking towards the forest.
Bennie glances at Augustus and Vander with an expression that seeks to ask, do we think Tok has lost his mind?
Vander stares back with a look that says, very possibly.
Yeah, Augustus just shows wide eyes, but then trots after Tok and says, "Tok, I understand an automaton might be recovered with a new body, but was Tick's memorandum crystal not also destroyed?"
Indeed, Augustus. It was disintegrated alongside his body. It is fortunate that I made a copy.
A copy?
The process is delicate. It is possible.
Very well, and how can you tell it has been successful? Tick, not being the talkative sort in our experience.
Tok pauses for some time.
Then cries and falls flat on his face.
My investigations lead me to that conclusion. The memory pathways are in the correct locations. But you are correct. Tick has not spoken.
At this point, Tick raises one thumb into the air.
Vander mutters at his robes, at which point Bellerophon crawls from a pocket unseen and makes his way along Vander's arm. Next to Tick now, Bellerophon extends a tongue and then withdraws it, tasting the air. He turns back to Vander and nods his head.
Worrying now that he's basically travelling with a bunch of lunatics who've all got imaginary friends. Augustus gives a super awkward thumbs up to Tick and then just starts walking into the forest to find people who are not insane.
Vander says, "Welcome back, Tick."
And Tick raises a thumb. Vander, your high perception allows you to see that Tick appears to be walking in a far more confident manner than automatons normally do. There's almost a little bit of a strut to him.
Tok,
Yes, Vander.
Tick appears to have been upgraded, so to speak. Though the upgrade appears to be more to do with charisma.
I do not recognize the term charisma. The body is a newer design of the gnomes of Ovik. It is not necessarily an upgrade. The original design was likely superior.
Like all rivers, conversations must at some stage meet the sea, mustn't they?
And Vander ends the conversation.
You guys head into the dead forest, stepping over gnarled roots and past a layer of thick black fog, which obscures your view for a moment. You take a few more steps in, and all of a sudden the light from outside has almost completely vanished. And then you walk into an area that feels there's a tiny bit of resistance in the air. There's a wobble. And immediately your vision adapts to a completely new sight. A gorgeously green, almost glowing forest stands before you, filled with birdsong, fireflies dancing in the air around you. And each step you take further in, the trees kind of become further apart from one another. The interior of the dead forest appears to be larger than the outside area. And then you see it before you, the beginnings of a roughly built village around a beautiful, small, azure blue lake. There are thick trunked trees around which construction is taking place, and you can see hastily built shelters around the lakeside. There is a bustle of activity as people move from building to building, carrying baskets of mushrooms, sacks of grain, logs of wood, balls of twine, and you are flooded with recognizable faces. You see Cato. You see Thrain's Stoneforge. You see Alara. Gone are the tan singlets of before. Everyone is now dressed in kind of brightly coloured, beautiful clothes. You even recognise some of the outfits as modified versions of your own clothes, which is a little bit unusual. The people are working away, helping to build and construct. And then Alara sees you, smiles warmly, turns to the woman she's talking to, who Tok you recognize as the priestess of Cassandra from the original Haven.
Ah, she escaped.
And they are both stood next to a large building on the edge of the lake, which is constructed at the base of a mighty oak tree, and the walls are made from kind of thick, intertwining tree roots, which form a perfect lattice. Alara, having smiled, beckons you over as the priestess leaves.
On the way over there, Tok is going to ask Vander, whilst I was away, did you wish for the missile from Papa Ungamus?
The wish remains unspent, Tok. I believe what we are in fact witnessing is the great good fortune that comes from plans well made.
The illusion is powerful.
Clearly.
Perhaps Squirrel was behind it.
That is indeed possible, though even for Seraphina this would be quite a feat.
Agreed.
And Vander approaches Alara.
Oh, my friends, the gods bring us great tidings. You're alive, and you've returned as you said you would. How are you?
We are well, thank you, Alara. A pleasure to see you again, and to see you all in such fine health.
Yep, and it's all thanks to you. Had you not distracted Morven, we would never have got away, and you identified this spot, and with the help of the Mother, we've created Sanctuary.
That is a good name, and there is much to discuss, but tell me, what happened in the moments after we left you?
Your distraction was so effective that there didn't seem to be any pursuit of us. We travelled for a short while, and a few hours later, Mother caught up with us, and she joined our journey, and we travelled back to here. She set up this place within this dead forest, and here we are, safe from the Empire, at last.
And there is no possibility that the Empire could find you here, I assume?
No, the incantations are too strong. This might be the only safe place in all of Athlon.
That is good news indeed, Alara. We are also well, though I see no airship.
The airship is safe. Plex has taken on the responsibility of captaining the ship. He's been ferrying people from Slateholme to come join us. You'll notice that there are more gnomes than before. Our ranks swell. And the dread pirate, as he now goes, and the people's champion Bardal Schultz, he sent them off to River City to launch a raid to try and disrupt the Empire. We did this all because of you, because of the Order of the Heron, because of what the heroes of Haven have shown us.
We are most pleased to hear such good news, and tidings of the Empire's movements have also reached our ears. We are weary from the road, though, Alara.
Of course. If you look over there, and she points to the other side of the lake, there are rooms there set up. We set them up specifically for you in the hopes that you would return. They contain all of your possessions from the Sterling. We didn't want to lose them in case you were alive and something happened to the Sterling. Tok, your workshop is over there. Augustus, Bennie, Vander, your rooms are all set up exactly as they were on the Sterling.
Alara, you have my thanks.
You have all of our thanks.
Well, it's not me really you have to thank. It's the Mother. She'll want to see you. You should come with me. I'll take you to her right now.
Please lead on.
And Alara guides you up the ramp into the tree root house with the lattice design. You notice it's covered with moss, and there's hanging baskets filled with all sorts of flowers. And at the top of the ramp is an expertly carved door, which has like swirling patterns, in the center of which is carved the symbol of an acorn. Alara knocks gently and enters and welcomes you inside. Inside is a living space infused with nature. The table appears to be forged from a bush. The fireplace is in the trunk of the ancient oak, and scattered all around are bottles of different colours, along with piles of herbs and spices. Over the fire, a cauldron bubbles away, filling the air with sickly sweet smells. And sat on a chair made from vines is Seraphina. She rises, clutching her staff, and limps towards you.
Hey, Tok. You're alive.
Squirrel, I am glad to see you. We are indeed alive, as are you.
Indeed. Do you still have the obsidian matrix?
It is safe. So Tok will take his left arm out and tap the blue light of the matrix on his arm.
Hope remains. And Tick. Oh, Tick looks different.
Tick suffered in a fight with a necromancer. He has been repaired. The repairs have been significant.
Well, it's good that he's still alive and that the two of you are still together.
Indeed.
And she turns to Vander.
And Vander, it's good to see you alive too.
Pleasure also to see you, Seraphina.
And Vander sends a mental message. Bennie is sick. It may be due to his powers as a tyro. Can you help?
At this point, Bennie interjects and just, are we doing any introductions or?
Seraphina shows no recognition on her face of the message, but immediately turns towards Bennie. She steps up to you.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Bennie?
That's right. Squirrel or Seraphina or something else?
Seraphina, Squirrel, Nocturna. You can call me whatever you want.
And she reaches up and gently brushes the side of your face.
It's quite uncanny. How are you feeling?
Well, it's been a long couple of months, but I'm all right, thank you. What's uncanny?
I can see in your eyes there's a sadness in there.
Oh, yeah. As I say, it's been a long couple of months.
I understand. It's not your fault. Whatever's happened.
Well, some of it was kind of my fault. But sorry, this is a very intense conversation for someone I've never met before, and we've not said hello to Augustus, which is very remiss of all of us. Or Fabian, if you will. We've all got a lot of names, it turns out.
Query, Bennie, who is Fabian?
Vander's ears have pricked up also.
Let him explain.
Seraphina turns to Augustus.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Fabian or Augustus.
Augustus will be fine, and if we could refrain from the face touching, I'd be most grateful.
Consider it done.
And she turns back to Bennie.
So, Bennie, I think it would be good if you got some rest. I think all of you could do with some rest.
And she looks back to Tok and Vander. You two, too.
We have much to discuss, but you are welcome here in Sanctuary. You may now rest for a while. We have many things to go through, but I think tonight it would be good if the people got to celebrate and to thank you personally for everything you've done for them.
I would find this to be acceptable.
A most welcome idea.
What have we done for them? Didn't we nearly get them all killed?
You have saved these people on 2 occasions. You risk your lives for them, and for the people of Slateholm. You have constantly fought against the Empire and done everything within your power to stop them from subjugating and hurting them. They are all aware of the stories of the heroes of Haven.
That's very kind of you to say, Seraphina. But the last time, we didn't really rescue them, because we got tricked, didn't we, by the Empire. They were never coming for the Haveners, they were coming for us. That we just put them in harm's way, managed to get them out of it.
The people of Haven fled the Empire. There was an Empire spy in their midst. We precipitated the timing of the Empire's attack, but the Empire would attack. It is in their nature.
That's the point. What's happened to Magnus?
He was dealt with before my arrival on the Sterling.
Vander chuckles.
What was the deal?
Alara took issue with his attitude, and he was made to walk the plank. The people of Haven are not quite as innocent as the last time you met them. They are ready to fight for what they believe in.
True evolution, then.
So Vander, again with his high perception, will see that Tok looks super confused at Walk the Plank.
There's lots of people out there who are very keen to meet you. I know that Hale Finn Valor is out there, and he's interested in writing a book about you. Your names have been spread far and wide, but that's enough for now. I really think you need some rest.
So who is the leader here, Seraphina? You or Alara?
That would be me. Alara handed control over once I summoned this place as protection.
Who exactly are you?
Well, that is a big question.
Squirrel is a Rojan, Bennie,
Oh,
the master of illusion.
That's right. I was a member of the council.
She was friends with Tick.
oh, okay. That's good. It's promising, isn't it? That balances out the Master of Illusion title, which I have to say is slightly unnerving.
She was also friends with Vander.
Okay, well, that's one strike against her name then.
That is not necessarily true.
Okay, that's more promising. I'm listening.
Seraphina, if our most recent actions have poured oil on troubled waters, so to speak, I would invite a further conversation with you so we may pick up where we left off. I would also like to discuss Kalen. Maybe a rest first.
Heron was one of the things I wanted to speak to you about as well. Let's take one evening for ourselves, and you would not deprive your fans of an evening's entertainment, would you?
Certainly not. And I'm sure you too will celebrate in our return. Specifically mine.
She ignores that and turns to Bennie and once again reaches up and touches him on the face.
It is a pleasure to have met you, Bennie. We will talk more in the days ahead. But go get changed, rest for a few hours. We'll let the celebrations begin after that.
As the group make their way out, Vander says in hushed tones,
We may have our differences still, but you owe it to the faith we once swore to protect that one.
His face is so familiar to me. I will protect him with everything that I have.
Elara takes you guys across to the other side of the lake, to your rooms, and welcomes you into each one. And each one, it has been faithfully recreated from the layout of your rooms on the Sterling, including Tok's workshop with all of the tools. Like everything has basically been lifted out and placed exactly where it was.
Does Augustus's door say no dogs?
It does not. But there is a small dog's bed in Bennie's room for Lenny.
Yes.
Tok sort of makes an inventory of the room and checks everything is sort of in order. Makes an appreciative. Well, I suppose he probably doesn't make an appreciative thing. He's on his own. But if he would emote, he would make an appreciative gesture.
So to clarify, he doesn't do that.
No.
Vander disappears into his hole like a tick burrowing back into its den.
Bennie just steps into his room and falls face forward onto the bed.
Lenny the dog jumps in after you, just nuzzles up next to you.
He's a very good dog.
A few hours pass and you guys settle in fully before you begin to hear the sounds of music and frivolity coming from the other side of the lake. Outside, the people of Sanctuary have gathered. There is a roaring bonfire, kegs of ale, tables covered in simple foods, and the doors have been slung open, and you can hear organ music inside. When the people see you all emerging from your rooms, there is a cheer for the heroes of Old Haven. And we will end it there.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Bennie Quez, Alex Morrison as Augustus Zeno, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tok, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support. Marshall 001, Marky B, Darcy Thompson, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sakura, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Vander, Paris Pakar, Path Pursuit, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Mama Strange, Queenie, Liz Beckett, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
Am I the only one who doesn't trust Seraphina at all?
Oh,
Yes.
fucking
Yes,
hell,
you
here
are.
we
You
go.
are.
Jesus Christ.
Now this.
Empire Spy! They're all Empire Spies then.
Weirdly, he trusted the Empire Spy.
I'm
Is
all
it
over
because she
Empire
tried to
Spies.
touch your face? Is this the problem?
Welcome one and all to Dice Company. We're a group of old friends weave tales of triumph, heroism. That's the first time I fucked up the first line. God damn it.
I was really hoping I'd provoke you to do it as a cowboy.
Yeah.
Welcome, y'all.
I had a truly absurd character that was going to introduce himself just then. And then the guy ran off before Reverend Gustav Pepperpot could say anything.
Who are you?
I am... Who the fuck am I? I am Lord Radagard Sloom.
And you disappear into the night sky. That's not right.
I am pretty fucking good at this.
We do the unthinkable.
Opens the hatch to the main area. Fuck me, what's happened? Opens the hatch.
The interior of the carriage.
Are we assuming that Bennie can't tell that he's aged until he looks in the mirror? Should we kind of take that as a given?
I think that's fair.
Did he make old man noises as he sat down in the stagecoach?
Yeah. These seats just really creak.
He suddenly really likes Antiques Roadshow. He can't explain it.
Neighbours are so noisy for some reason.
Really enjoys licorice now.
Like, how old was he before he aged 9 years?
I think he was in his early 20s, probably.
Yeah.
So he's not exactly ancient.
No,
but he has just discovered 2 worthless originals in his pocket.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our Linktree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.